My name's Chris.
Paige French.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So we're just going to ask you a few questions here about the healthcare system in general and interpersonal communication between First Nations people and First Nations people and nursing professionals. So take your time in answering and just enjoy yourself.
Okay.
So what has your experience been with the healthcare system?
My personal experience, I've gone to the hospital a few times where they have rules and protocols that you have to follow when you go into the building, right? And for me, in that sense, I can understand some of the steps that you have to go through, like registrant and certain areas in the building at the university hospital. Say, for example, if an elder went into that building and they had no assistance or a person going with them, they would not understand that process. They would be cultural shock and they're going, well, where do I go? What do I do? And so to me, that's one of the barriers that's there for our people that come from remote communities. And so when we have loved ones at the hospital, it's always important that they have loved ones helping to aid them, to assist them to talk the language, whatever language they may speak, and so that way they're comfortable, they're not shocked, and they're not scared of the area, because a lot of times people in the outside world don't understand the language, or people don't understand what they're trying to say.
So you would say that culture shock is one of the biggest.
Yes. Yeah, and the other and the other part is the healthcare system. There's a lot of barriers for our people. To me, I have experienced someone, like I said, I had injured my eyes and it was out in the bush, and then I had to go from there to here and drive that many miles, and part way I wasn't able to. But when I was in the process of contacting the healthcare right from the clinic in a community out to Prince George here, and then there's a set of rules with that. You have to contact Carries County Family Services, and then they're part of healthcare, and people have to prove certain process travel and all that kind of stuff.
So walking up a ridiculous ladder kind of
yes,
thing. Yeah.
So there's barriers there too, and so there's roadblocks too, like you are limited. And sometimes the paper trail is not accurately done fast enough for you to get to where you're trying to go to.
Okay.
So that is a big concern for our people.
Perfect. So how have your experiences impacted helping relationships in your community with your family and with healthcare professionals?
I really feel it's important to have that communication. There's a communication breakdown with our people and understanding of the communication. Sometimes some of the stuff has to be relayed to our elders to break down like what they're asking or what you're asking, and so that part is really important. Like anything else, communication is a really important skill to have when you're trying to resolve issue and things, and sometimes that doesn't go well in certain areas. So I really believe that in order to speak to our people, sometimes people don't know how to relate to that. I notice that they'll talk to our people like their voice will be changed a little bit, high, above, or if you just talk to them like a human being, normal English, and they're okay. But sometimes I see that there's barriers there. Yeah.
So you're a medicine, correct?
Yes. And that's been passed down from generation to generation. And that's another thing, the healthcare, the doctors and nurses, they're afraid when we talk about that because they don't want that I don't know if it's liability or worried about their jobs being taken away, but it's just like any kind of you go to a store and you're trying to heal the pain or, but we live off the land and do those things. Like we have our aspirins and, cough syrup and all that other stuff out in the bush, right? And it's not going to take people's jobs away, or we're not trying to hurt anybody, and hopefully someday we will work closely with the outside world. And so to make it more comfortable for our people, because we worry for our loved ones when they're in a hospital, it's important to try to aid them along the way and to work with people. And I know in the system with the university that we see that they're always short-staffed with the nurses and the doctors, and they're overworked. You could see the exhaustion in people, and you just want to be there and help them and try to help your loved ones and take care of that, bathe them and feed them and do all that stuff. And sometimes the food that's given within the hospital, they don't eat. Yeah, we live off the land. Yeah, so it's not bad. I had a couple bites. It's not bad. But if you sit there and eat it every day, you'll obviously get tired of it, right?
Yeah.
Because but some of our people don't eat that way. They don't. Our bodies are made different from the land. Yeah.
Does educating youth on traditional values and culture assist in increasing health from your own experience?
I really believe that the more we educate and bring the awareness out there to people, I think it would benefit everybody all around. I really believe that because our people are being taught from a young age up to advanced level, that's how we do the process, is we start from a young age, and it doesn't take overnight to learn something. It's just like going to school, right? It's months and weeks and years. And with our people, same thing. When we do the teaching of our ways, it's a process. And the more people get educated and the more they bring it out there to make that awareness to people, the better off we'll all be. There'll be a balance.
So in your own opinion and from your experience, what can the healthcare community do to improve communication between First Nations in order to improve health and well-being?
I really believe that the understanding has to be there. I believe that if people will take more courses under the First Nation studies to learn some of the learn some of the stuff that we have and to bring the barriers down, I really believe that's really important. The communication skills have to be there, the compassion of our people, because some of them don't, like the elders, may not quite understand what you're trying to say about some product or medicine, or you're trying to tell them something about the blood pressure, and they'll, the shock will be there. So when there's somebody there assisting them, that would be great. I know that this university here has people liaison in the building, but to me there is lack of service with that, even though the person does amazing things with help aiding our people, but she's only one person and not enough. We need more people like that, like for example during the evenings or on weekends or holidays when our people are in dire strait and need to talk to someone or support. They're not around, right? And so they need more than one individual to do that kind of work. Yeah. And then that person that does that work is just incredible. Like I've seen many people that work through this university that does that job. It's a big job, and also the knowledge is incredible. Those people that work there, such as June right now and past Grace Duncan, their knowledge is just unbelievable. They speak the language, they understand the knowledge, the cultural. And so with that said, they know how to work along with nurses and doctors. The majority of people do work with them, but there are some that kind of don't understand. And this is not to try to exclude the nurses and doctors, it's just trying to help them. So I know there's barriers up there from what I understand. And I don't know if it's just because of the communication or just not educated to learn about our ways, and the awareness has to be out there though. And so when the barriers come down, things seem to go smooth. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for answering our questions. And